My hands won't stop shaking. Not from fear. Not yet. From cold. The kind of cold that doesn't creep in. It breaks down the door. Takes everything. I press my fingers against my chest, under the layers, and they feel like they belong to someone else. Someone already dead. The snow started 3 hours ago, maybe 4. Time loses meaning when the world turns white. When every direction looks the same. When the wind screams so loud you can't hear your own thoughts. We shouldn't be here. I know that. Soraya knows that. We both knew the moment the sky changed color this morning. That sick yellow gray that means something terrible is coming. We knew, and we kept walking anyway. Because the alternative was staying in a valley with no shelter, no fuel, no walls. At least this ridge had rocks. At least this ridge had a chance. Now I'm not sure chance is enough. Afghanistan in winter. People who've never been here. They picture sand. They picture heat. They don't picture this. Mountains that touch the sky. Wind that carries ice like tiny knives. Snow so thick you can't see your hand in front of your face. I can't see Soraya. She's 10 steps ahead, maybe 15. I can hear her, the crunch of her boots, the sound of her breathing. But the snow swallows everything, turns her into a shadow, a ghost moving through white. Here, her voice cuts through, not loud. Soraya doesn't shout. She doesn't need to. Even in a storm like this, her voice finds me. I follow the sound, step by step, each one harder than the last. The snow is past my ankles now, rising fast. My sandals are useless. We wrapped them in cloth hours ago, bound them with rope, but the wet seeps through. My feet are numb, have been numb for a while. I find her crouched behind a rock formation. 3 large boulders leaning against each other like tired old men. A natural pocket. Not shelter. Not yet. But the bones of one. She's already assessing. I see it in her eyes. That quick calculation she does. Scanning angles. Measuring gaps. Figuring out what the wind can reach and what it can't. I've seen her do this 1,000 times in the desert. With heat. With sand. But never with snow. Never with temperatures that want to freeze the blood in our veins. This one, she says, points to the deepest gap between the boulders. The wind comes from the north. This blocks it. She's right. She's always right about these things. I stopped questioning her instincts years ago, decades ago. I nod. Can barely feel my face to make expressions anymore. The cold has stolen that too. We work. No discussion, no plan spoken aloud. After 30 years together, words are luxury. We move like 2 hands of the same body. She starts pulling dead brush from the base of the rocks. Frozen, brittle, but something. I unsling our pack and pull out the heavy wool blanket. It's damp. Everything is damp. The snow finds every opening, every fold, every secret pocket where warmth tries to hide. My fingers fumble with the ties, can't grip properly. The cold has turned my hands into wooden things, clumsy, stupid. I drop the rope twice, 3 times. I want to scream, don't. Soraya glances back, sees me struggling, doesn't say anything, just shifts her position slightly so her body blocks some of the wind from reaching me. A small thing, everything. That's who she is. She protects without announcing it, shields without making you feel weak. I get the blanket free. We stretch it across the gap between the boulders. It's not enough. The wind grabs at it like hands, angry, hungry hands trying to rip it away. We need weight. We need anchoring. Snow. The thing trying to kill us becomes the thing that might save us. Soraya starts packing snow along the base of the blanket. Her bare hands. She pulled off her gloves, the wet wool ones that stopped helping an hour ago, and she's using her bare hands to pack snow into a wall. I watch her fingers turn red, then white. Soraya. She doesn't stop, doesn't look up. Her jaw is set. That look. I know that look. It means, don't talk to me right now. I'm keeping us alive. So I shut up and and start packing snow on my side. The wall grows. 6 inches, a foot, 2 feet. The wind drops inside our pocket. Not gone. Wind is never gone here, but reduced. Manageable. The blanket stops flapping. Holds. Shelter. Barely, but shelter. Inside, the space is tight. Maybe 4 feet wide, 6 feet deep, 4 feet tall at the highest point. We can't stand. Can barely sit upright. But we're out of the direct wind, and that changes everything. The temperature difference, maybe 10 degrees, maybe 15, enough that my fingers start to sting. That's good. Stinging means blood is still moving, still trying. Soraya pulls her hands inside her dress, against her body. I see her wince. The warming hurts worse than the freezing. I know this feeling. Every nomad knows this feeling. The fire that comes when dead flesh remembers it's supposed to be alive. We need real fire. I dig through the pack. Matches. Our precious matches. Wrapped in leather, wrapped again in cloth, kept in the deepest part of the bag. I unwrap them with the care of a man handling his last hope. Because that's exactly what they are. 18 matches. That's what we have. 18 chances. The brush Soraya gathered is frozen, wet on the outside, maybe dry in the center. Maybe. There's no guarantee. There's never a guarantee out here. You try, you fail, you try again, or you die. Those are the options. I snap a branch. The outer bark is icy, crystals glinting even in the grey light, but inside, yes, dry. Pale wood, almost white. It splinters under my thumbnail. Good. Dry splinters catch fire. I shave tinder with my knife. My hands shake so badly the blade skips, nicks my thumb. Blood, warm and startling, drops onto the white wood shavings. I barely feel the cut. Can't afford to care about it. First match. My fingers can barely hold it. I strike. The wind, even in here, even behind our snow wall, catches the flame. Dead before it touches the tinder. Second match. Same. Third. I cup my hands tighter, create a cave with my palms. The flame lives. 2 seconds. 3. Touches the shavings. They glow. Smoke. Then nothing. Too damp. 3 matches gone. 15 left. Fear. Real fear. Not the kind I can push down and ignore. The kind that sits in your chest like a stone. Heavy. Patient. Waiting. Soraya reaches over. Doesn't take the matches from me. She would never do that. Never take a task from my hands unless I can't do it. Instead, she takes the tinder pile. Sorts through it with fingers that must be screaming with pain. Finds the driest pieces, the thinnest. Arranges them differently, a nest, not a pile. Looser, more air. She tears a strip from the inside hem of her dress, dry cotton that's been pressed against her body all day. Adds it to the nest. She nods at me. Try again. 4th match. Her cotton catches first, glows orange. The wood shavings lean into the heat. Smoke rises, thick, white, reluctant. Then a crackle. Small. Barely there. But a crackle. Fire, not a fire. A promise of fire. A whisper. We feed it like a sick animal. Tiny pieces, one at a time. Too much and we'll smother it. Too little and it dies on its own. My hands hover near the flame, so small I can barely feel its warmth. And I realize I'm holding my breath. Soraya blows. Gentle. Steady. She has better breath control than me. Always has. She breathes into the ember the way a mother breathes onto a newborn's face. Coaxing. Come on. Come on. Live. It lives. 5 minutes. 10. The fire grows from a whisper to a murmur. Still small. We don't have enough fuel for anything big. But real. Actual heat touching my face. I close my eyes and for one moment the world shrinks to this. Warmth on my skin. Then the wind howls and the blanket snaps and the world reminds me where I am. Outside our shelter, the storm has gotten worse. I can hear it, the deep, guttural roar of wind funneling through mountain passes. Snow drives horizontally past the gap in our rocks. If I reach my arm out, it would be coated white in seconds. This is not a storm that passes quickly. This is a storm that stays, that settles in like it owns the mountain, like we're the intruders, because we are. I look at Soraya in the firelight. Her face is drawn, tired, but her eyes are doing what they always do, calculating, planning. She's already thinking about the next 3 hours, the next 5, how much fuel we have, how long the blanket will hold, whether the snow wall needs reinforcing. I'm thinking about whether we'll see morning. I don't say this, would never say this. Dariush, the husband, the partner, the man who's kept them both alive for 3 decades. He doesn't say things like that. But Dariush, the man, the human, the 55-year-old body that's been walking through frozen mountains for 2 days with not enough food and not enough warmth, he thinks it. The confession sits in my throat like a bone. We eat. Dried meat and flat bread, both hard as stone. I hold the bread near the fire. It softens just enough to chew without cracking a tooth. The meat I tear with my fingers. It tastes like salt and smoke and survival. Soraya eats less than me. She always does when supplies are low. I've fought her on this for 30 years, lost every time. She'll eat enough to function and not a bite more. What's left goes to me. Because I'm bigger. Because I burn more energy. Because her logic is merciless and always correct. I push a piece of bread toward her. She pushes it back without looking at me. Stubborn woman. Brilliant, stubborn woman. The wind changes. I feel it before I hear it. A shift in pressure inside our shelter. The blanket billows inward. Snow dust sprays across our small fire. Sparks scatter. No. I lunge forward. Cover the fire with my body. Feel snow hit my back, melt through my shirt. Cold. So cold it burns. But the fire. Protect the fire. Everything depends on the fire. Soraya moves faster than me, already at the wall, packing more snow where the wind found a gap. Her hands work with a speed that defies the cold, defies the stiffness I know she feels. She's filling cracks I can't even see in this dim light, reading the wind like text, understanding where it's pushing, where it's finding weakness. The gust passes, the blanket settles, the fire, still alive, smaller, angry, but alive. I sit back. My hands are shaking again. Not from cold this time. Fear. There it is. Sitting in my chest. That's stone. I've survived sandstorms that turned day into night. Survived heat that made the air shimmer and dance. Survived thirst so deep I forgot what water tasted like. But cold. Cold is different. Cold is patient. Cold doesn't rage and pass. Cold settles in, waits, takes you piece by piece, a toe, a finger, the feeling in your face, your ability to think clearly. And then, they say, it gets warm, right at the end. They say you feel warm and sleepy and peaceful. That terrifies me more than anything. Soraya finishes reinforcing the wall, comes back, sits close, not for comfort, for warmth. Our bodies pressed together, sharing what little heat we generate. I feel her shivering against me, steady tremors that she can't control. She hates this. I know she does. Hates that her body is betraying her, showing weakness. I put my arm around her. Not romance, survival. 2 bodies are warmer than one. Basic physics that every animal on Earth understands. She leans into me, slightly. Just enough. The fire crackles. Low, hungry. We feed it another branch. Our supply is shrinking. I count what's left in the dim light. Maybe 2 hours of fuel. Maybe 3 if we keep the fire small. After that, I don't finish the thought. Soraya shifts, pulls away from me. She's looking at the snow wall. Something in her expression. I've seen it before. That focused look she gets when she notices something no one else would. "The snow," she says. Not to me, to herself. But I hear her. She reaches forward, presses her hand against the packed snow wall, holds it there, then pulls back and looks at her palm. "Warm," she says. "The inside is warm." I don't understand. Snow is cold. Snow is the problem. How can snow be warm? But Soraya is already moving. She takes a branch from our dwindling fuel supply. I almost stop her, almost grab her wrist, and pushes it into the snow wall. Not through it, into it, halfway. Lets it sit, counts to 30 under her breath, pulls it out. The end that was in the snow is warmer than the end exposed to the air. Insulation. The snow is insulating us, trapping our body heat, our fire heat, reflecting it back. The thicker the wall, the warmer we stay. Soraya doesn't explain this to me, doesn't need to. She just starts building, making the walls thicker, the entrance smaller. She's turning our crude shelter into something else, something ancient, something people have used in frozen mountains for thousands of years. I help. We pack snow in silence. The work warms us, muscles generating heat, blood pumping faster. The shelter shrinks. The entrance narrows to barely wide enough to crawl through. The walls grow thick, 8 inches, a foot, and the temperature changes. I feel it on my face first, the absence of that cutting edge. The air inside our shelter is still cold. Don't misunderstand. It's still winter, still a storm, still Afghanistan's mountains. But the difference between dying cold and survivable cold. Soraya just closed that gap. She taught herself this. Or her grandmother taught her. Or the land itself taught her through years of paying attention. I don't know. I don't ask. Some knowledge is so deep in a person it doesn't have a story attached. It's just there, like breathing. The fire burns smaller now. We let it. The shelter holds heat better. The snow walls reflect warmth inward. We don't need a roaring blaze, just enough to keep the air above freezing, just enough to dry our clothes, just enough to remind our bodies that warmth exists. Outside, the storm rages. I can hear it, muffled now through walls of snow and rock, distant thunder, except it's not thunder. It's wind, wind so powerful it sounds like the mountain is growling. Snow covers our shelter. I hear it accumulating on the blanket above us, pressing down, adding weight, adding insulation. The thing trying to bury us is also protecting us. There's something in that, something I'd normally try to find words for. But tonight I'm too tired for wisdom. Tonight I'm just a man trying to stay warm. Hours pass. I think. Time is strange in here. No light from outside. The storm has killed the moon, the stars, everything. Just firelight, flickering shadows on snow walls that glow amber and gold. Almost beautiful. Would be beautiful if we weren't fighting to survive. Soraya sleeps, not deeply. I can tell by her breathing. That half-sleep of someone who doesn't trust the world enough to let go completely. Every few minutes her eyes open. Check the fire. Check the walls. Check me. Then close again. Guardian sleep. Predator sleep. She's resting her body without resting her mind. I stay awake. Someone has to. The fire needs feeding every 20 minutes. Small pieces, careful pieces. I've rationed what we have into portions. 12 more feedings. That's what I count. If each lasts 20 minutes, that's 4 hours. Dawn is... when? I don't know. 6 hours away. Maybe 7. The math doesn't work. I run it again. 12 feedings. 20 minutes each. 240 minutes. 4 hours. Dawn in 6 or 7. A gap of 2. Maybe 3 hours with no fire. 2 hours in this cold without fire. With the storm still raging. With our wet clothes and empty stomachs and exhausted bodies. The stone in my chest grows heavier. I look at Soraya, sleeping against the snow wall. Her headscarf has slipped. Her dark hair with its gray streaks catches firelight. She looks peaceful, She looks 50 years old and ancient at the same time. Lines around her eyes, lines around her mouth. Each one earned, each one a story I was there for. If something happens to her because I made the wrong decision, kept walking when we should have stopped, chose this ridge instead of the valley, didn't bring enough fuel, stop. Stop this. This thinking leads nowhere good. I feed the fire, watch the small flame dance. Midnight. Maybe. Could be later. The storm hasn't weakened. If anything, it's louder. The mountain itself seems to vibrate with wind. Snow shifts against our walls, settles, compresses. Our entrance, already narrow, is filling in. I crawl over and dig it clear with my hands. The blast of cold air that rushes in makes me gasp, like jumping into ice water. My lungs seize, eyes water. I pack snow back around the entrance, leaving just a small gap. Ventilation. Need it for the fire. Need it so carbon monoxide doesn't build up inside our cocoon. Another calculation, another balance. Too open and we freeze. Too closed and we suffocate. Everything in survival is a balance. Life and death, separated by decisions the width of a hand. Back by the fire. My clothes are stiffening as they dry. The wool shirt crinkles when I move. Salt crystals from sweat frozen into the fabric. I smell like an animal. Smoke and sweat and fear. Does fear have a smell? I think it does. Metallic. Sharp. The body leaking chemicals that say, danger, danger, danger. Soraya wakes, sits up, looks at me. In the firelight, her eyes are dark and deep and full of something I can't name. Not fear. Soraya doesn't do fear the way I do. She does action. She does solution. She does the next thing. She reaches into her clothes and pulls out a small bundle. Herbs. Dried herbs she carries everywhere. Her portable pharmacy, I call it. She sorts through them by touch, by smell. Brings each one to her nose, sniffs, decides. Chooses 3. She crushes them between her palms. The smell fills our shelter. Sharp, green, alive. So different from the dead white world outside that it feels like a hallucination. She drops the crushed herbs into our small water vessel, holds it near the fire. Drink, she says when it steeps. Hands me the vessel. I drink. Bitter, hot, terrible and wonderful at the same time. Within minutes, something changes inside me. Not warmth exactly, more like the memory of warmth. My chest loosens. The stone gets lighter. My shivering decreases. What is this? She almost smiles. Almost. Something my grandmother taught me. For nights when the cold tries to take you. Her grandmother. A woman I never met. A woman who lived in mountains like these. Who survived winters like this. Who passed down knowledge through daughters and granddaughters like a flame passed from candle to candle. Soraya carries that woman inside her. Every herb she knows, every trick of survival, every reading of wind and sky. It all traces back to hands that held the same knowledge generations ago. She makes me drink more. I do. The bitterness fades with the second cup. Or my tongue is too cold to care. 2 in the morning. I'm guessing now. The fire is down to its last portions. I count again. 5 feedings left. Maybe 90 minutes of flame. After that, darkness and cold. The storm. Still there. Eternal. As if the world has always been this storm, and always will be. I think about my father. He traveled these mountains when he was young, before he settled in the desert, before he met my mother. He told me once, only once, he wasn't a man who repeated stories, that he got caught in a storm in the Hindu Kush. 3 days. He survived by killing his donkey and sleeping inside the carcass. I don't have a donkey. I have Soraya. I have a dying fire. I have 12 matches left, and 5 small bundles of frozen brush and a wool blanket that's currently our roof. And I have fear. Plenty of that. The temperature drops again. I feel it in my bones now. Not just my skin, my bones. the deep ache of cold that's reached the center. My knees hurt, my spine hurts, my jaw hurts from clenching against the shivers. Soraya moves closer, her body against mine. She takes my hands and puts them under her arms, against her ribs. Warm. Warmer than anything I've felt in hours. I hold still. Let her warmth seep into my fingers. Feel the slow burn of blood returning to frozen tissue. She does the same with her hands, tucks them against my chest, under my vest. We sit like this, tangled, sharing heat like animals in a den. Remember the sandstorm, she whispers. 3 years ago, the big one. I nod against her hair. This is the same, different cold, same survival. We know how to do this. She's right. She's telling me she's right, and I should believe her. And I want to. I want to believe that the skills that kept us alive in 130-degree heat can keep us alive in whatever this temperature is. Below zero. Far below. But they're different, these deaths. Heat kills you screaming. Cold kills you sleeping. I don't say this. 3rd hour. Or 4th. I've lost count. The fire is down to embers. Last feeding gone. I stare at the orange glow. Watch it fade. Feel the cold advancing like a tide. An inch at a time. Patient. Certain. Soraya takes the knife. I don't understand what she's doing until she starts cutting strips from the bottom of our wool blanket. The part hanging inside the shelter, not the part holding back snow. Thin strips. She feeds them to the embers. Wool burns slow, burns warm, buys time. I should have thought of that. Didn't. My brain is sluggish. The cold is in my thinking now, making everything slow and thick, like trying to run through sand. Soraya keeps cutting, keeps feeding, measuring each strip. Not too much. We still need the blanket. Not too little. We need the warmth. That balance again. Always the balance. She's keeping us alive. Right now, in this moment, she is the reason we survive. I know this with the clarity that comes at the edge of things, when everything unnecessary burns away and only truth remains. She has always been the reason, not the only reason. I carry my weight. I do my part. But the crucial reason, the tipping point, the margin between making it and not. The wool smoke smells different from wood smoke, acrid, dense, animals. It fills our small space, and I cough, but I don't complain because that smoke means heat, and heat means life. Minutes pass like hours, each one a small victory, still breathing, still awake, still here. The storm outside, is it softer? I strain to hear through our snow walls. The howl has changed pitch, lower, less frantic. Or am I imagining it because I need it to be true? No. Soraya hears it too. Her head tilts, that listening pose. She presses her ear against the snow wall, stays there, 10 seconds, 20. Slowing, she says, one word, but I feel it like sunlight, like water after days of thirst, like the first cool breeze in a desert summer. Slowing, not stopped, not safe, not yet. But the storm is losing its fury. The mountain is exhaling. The worst, maybe, possibly please. The worst is passing. I feed another wool strip to the embers. Watch it catch. The flame is small and yellow and smells terrible, and it is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. The temperature holds, stops dropping. Our snow walls, thick now, insulated, packed tight by the storm itself, hold our heat. Our borrowed, rationed strip of blanket heat. But it's enough. It's the difference. It's the margin. Soraya's herbs still warm my blood. I feel them working. Whatever ancient chemistry her grandmother discovered, it pushes back against the cold from inside. Not much, just enough. Always just enough. That's how survival works. You never get more than you need. You never feel comfortable. You never sit back and think, yes, we're safe. You just keep getting exactly enough to continue, to take the next breath, to stay awake one more hour. I drift. Not sleep. Something less than sleep and more than waking. A gray space where my body rests, but my mind stays tethered to the fire. Every time the ember dims, something pulls me back. I reach out, feed the fire, drift again. Soraya takes over. I feel her hand on my shoulder, pressing me down. Rest. I'll watch. I resist for a moment. Habit, pride, stubbornness. She presses harder. Not angry. Firm. The press of a woman who has made a decision and does not intend to debate it. I lie down on the frozen ground, pull my knees to my chest, close my eyes. Sleep comes like falling. Not gentle, sudden, the body taking what it needs without asking permission. I drop into darkness, and the darkness is warm, warmer than it should be, and some small voice says, "Be careful. That's the cold talking. That's the trick. Stay awake." But I don't stay awake. I can't. The body wins. I wake to grey light. Grey. Not black. Not the absolute darkness of the storm. Grey. The color of morning trying to push through snow and cloud. The color of survival. Soraya is awake. Of course she is. Sitting by the entrance which she's partially opened. Cold air streams in, but it's different cold. Still cold. Still winter. Still Afghanistan in its most brutal season. But the wind is gone. The storm has passed. I crawl to the entrance, look out. And for a moment I forget the cold, forget the fear, forget the endless, terrible night. White. Everything white. The mountains, the rocks, the ground, the sky, all white. Snow has transformed the world into something unrecognizable. The boulders that sheltered us are half buried. The landscape has no edges, no borders, no distinction between earth and sky. Just white, clean, silent, silent. After hours of howling wind, the silence is so absolute it rings in my ears. The mountain holds its breath. The storm is gone, and the world it left behind is hushed with something like reverence. Soraya stands beside me. I don't know when she moved. She's looking at the sky, looking for something, reading something I can't read. Cloud patterns, wind direction, the angle of light through the overcast. More coming, she says, but not today. Today we move. Today we move. Today we leave this tiny snow cave that saved our lives. Today we walk through waist-deep snow toward what? Another ridge, another valley, another place to make shelter before the next storm hits. I look back at our shelter, at the blanket with strips cut from its edge, at the black circle of ash where our fire lived, at the snow walls Soraya built with her bare hands. This ugly, desperate, barely there shelter. This thing we made from nothing. This thing that held. My body hurts. Everything hurts. My knees, my back, my hands, my feet. The cold has left bruises you can't see. Bruises on the inside, in the muscles and joints, and somewhere deeper than that. My feet. I don't look at my feet. I wiggle my toes inside the cloth wrappings. They respond. All of them. That's enough for now. Soraya has already packed our bag. What's left of the blanket, the herbs, the water vessel, the knife. Our diminished supplies that somehow, absurdly, are still enough for another day. Maybe two. She hands me dried meat. I eat standing in the entrance of our cave. The meat is frozen solid. I hold it in my mouth and let my body heat thaw it. Slow. Patient. The way the desert taught us to eat. The way the mountain is teaching us something different but the same. Patience. That's what it always comes back to. Not strength, not cleverness, not even knowledge, though Soraya's knowledge saved us tonight. Patience. The willingness to endure. To take the next breath even when your body begs you to stop. To feed the fire one more strip of wool even when your brain says it won't be enough. It was enough. We're standing here. We're breathing. The morning light, grey and cold and thin, falls on our faces. I look at Soraya. She's wrapping her hands in strips torn from the blanket's edge, protecting them for the walk ahead. Her fingers are red and cracked, the skin split in places from the cold. She doesn't wince, doesn't complain, just wraps. Tight, practical, done. 30 years. 30 years of walking with this woman through every kind of hell the earth can offer. Heat that melts thought, cold that freezes blood, thirst, hunger, loneliness so vast it has its own sound. And here she is, wrapping her damaged hands, getting ready to walk again. I clear the entrance, dig through the snow that accumulated overnight. The world outside is blinding white. The sun hasn't broken through yet, but the light reflects off every surface, amplified, multiplied. I squint, my eyes water. After hours in the dim shelter, even overcast daylight feels like staring into a fire. First steps into the snow. It's deep, past my knees in the flat areas, deeper in the drifts. Each step is an effort, lifting my leg high enough to clear, planting it down, feeling for solid ground beneath. The snow is heavy, wet, not the dry powder of colder regions, but the dense, saturated snow of mountain storms. It clings to everything. Soraya walks ahead. She's lighter than me, sinks less. She picks the path, reads the snow like she reads sand, looking for the firm spots, the shallow areas, the places where rock lies just below the surface. She moves with a rhythm that I try to match and can't quite. She's always had better balance, better instinct for terrain. I follow her tracks, step where she stepped. Trust her feet more than my own eyes. The mountain stretches ahead of us, vast, white, indifferent. It doesn't care that we survived the night, doesn't care that we're walking across its face right now, two small figures in an ocean of snow. It will throw another storm when it's ready, drop the temperature when it chooses. We have no say in this. All we have is each other, and the next step, and the one after that. We walk for an hour, maybe more. The cold is different now. Daytime cold, mountain cold, the kind that bites but doesn't kill. Not like last night. Not like the cold that sat in our shelter and counted our breaths and waited. I don't think about last night yet. Not ready. The fear is still too close. Still sitting in my chest, that stone, smaller now but present. Later. I'll think about it later. When we have fire and food and walls around us, when the next storm is still hours away, when I can afford to feel what I feel. For now, walk. Step. Breathe. Follow Soraya. Keep moving. She stops at a ridge, looks down the other side. I catch up to her, stand beside her, look where she's looking. A valley, protected on three sides by mountain walls. Trees, actual trees, bent and heavy with snow but alive, green underneath the white. And at the bottom, barely visible, a dark line cutting through the white. Water. Flowing water. Not frozen. Moving too fast to freeze. Soraya looks at me, the smallest change in her expression, not a smile. She's too tired for a smile, too cold, too everything. But a shift, a softening around the eyes, the look that means we found it. Whatever we needed, we found it. Trees mean fuel, water means drinking, valley walls mean shelter from wind. We start down. The descent is treacherous. Snow hides the slope's true angle. I slip twice, catch myself on rocks. Soraya navigates with her usual certainty. She tests each step before committing her weight, moves laterally when the straight path is too steep. Patient, careful, alive. The trees grow larger as we descend, evergreens heavy with snow. Their branches droop to the ground, creating natural canopies. Under the largest ones, the ground is almost clear. The canopy caught the snow, left dry earth beneath. I see dark soil, dead needles, protected spaces. Soraya points to the largest tree. A giant, its trunk as wide as my arm span. Its lowest branches sweep the ground in a circle, creating a room, a natural shelter. Better than our boulder cave, infinitely better. We crawl under. The ground is dry. Dry. I press my hands to the earth and feel its warmth. Not warm by any normal standard, but warmer than snow, warmer than ice, warmer than the night we just survived. I almost cry. Don't, but almost. Wood is everywhere. Dead branches, dry needles, bark strips. More fuel than we've had in days. I start gathering. Soraya starts building. Within minutes we have a fire pit. Within minutes more we have a fire. A real fire. Not the desperate ember of last night. Not the dying whisper we fed with strips of blanket. A fire. Crackling, popping, sending sparks up into the dark canopy. Heat, real, generous, abundant heat, pouring over us. I hold my hands out, feel the warmth sink into my skin, into my bones, into that place where the cold had settled and made itself at home. I feel it retreat, inch by inch. The cold losing ground. Warmth advancing. Soraya sits across from me, firelight on her face. She's unwrapping her hands, examining the damage. Cracked skin, swollen knuckles. She flexes her fingers, one at a time, testing. All work, all move. She catches me watching, holds up her hands, shows me. Not the damage, but the function. See? They work. We're fine, we're fine. I feed the fire, watch sparks rise into the green darkness above. Listen to the stream somewhere below us, running over rocks, alive and moving and free. Listen to the silence of the mountain, the absence of storm. Tonight, we sleep warm. Tonight, the fire burns as large as we want. Tonight, there's fuel enough for 12 hours, 20 hours, more. Tomorrow, we face whatever comes next. Another storm, maybe. Another mountain. Another test that this land throws at the two of us, over and over, as if trying to find out what we're made of. I know what we're made of. I learned it last night. We're made of the same thing as the mountain. Stone and patience and the refusal to break. Soraya lies down by the fire, pulls the damaged blanket around her, closes her eyes. This time her breathing changes immediately. Deep sleep. Real sleep. The sleep of someone who has handed the watch to someone she trusts absolutely. I sit. Watch the fire. Watch her. Watch the snow falling gently now through the branches above. Not storm snow, just snow. Soft. Quiet. Almost peaceful. My body aches. My hands are cracked. My feet throb with returning circulation. I'm hungry, tired, scared of things I won't name yet. But we're alive. The fire crackles. Soraya breathes. Snow falls. Will the valley hold us? Will the next storm pass over or come crashing down? Will these old bones carry me one more day through mountains that don't care if I live or die? I add a log to the fire. A big one. Watch it catch. I'll know by morning.